We gotta get a little globe thingy, that purple thingy. Or we could go, ooh, my
Oh,
prediction.
a crystal ball.
A crystal ball. I couldn't think of it.
Should be like a crystal football.
Hey, crystal
Now
ball.
now we're using our head.
Yeah.
Get Sports Focus is brought to you by Summit Partners, leaders in growth equity investing. Weightsandbars.com. Build your home gym and shop locally from the Bay Area's best fitness equipment experts. Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Championship level sandwiches every single time. South Bay Construction. A reputation built on trust. And by Fuel Good. Fueling your success. Conveniently located in Santa Clara off Homestead Road. For more info, go to fuelgoodmealprep.com.
Welcome to Get Sports Focus. This is Alf Joaquin, and that's Coach Andrew right there, mixing up his hydration thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hydrate, people, hydrate. I almost cramped up when I was at Woodside Sequoia game because the night before I was at De La Salle and it was 104. And you know, when I got there for the JV game, and then the next day I felt kind of weird. And I was like, oh shoot, I gotta drink something,
Yeah.
some good fluids in me. So, anyways, last week was a great week for high school football here in the Bay Area. Congratulations to the De La Salle Spartans and Coach Andrew for picking the De La Salle Spartans. They flexed their muscles, and
They
they are
did.
officially the #1 team in NorCal. That was a great game. Serra made some mistakes, but you know, I think it's one of those things where they'll bounce back, and I'll tell you what my prediction is for this coming week in a little bit. But what are your thoughts, Coach?
I mean, we kind of knew. Like, we knew that what did we say? For Sarah, these first few weeks were gonna be hard. This is probably like the hardest preseason schedule in all of Northern California. Like, there's just no way to just make it sound any better. Like, it's a tough schedule. Like, this primes them for what's probably going to happen in the postseason.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, I'm not, as much as I'm, it's not that I wanted to be right on it. It's just that, like, it showed, who's taking strides forward again. Like, all these teams are trying, like, these three teams, Folsom, De La Salle, and Serra, they're all pretty much just trying to compete with each other at this point. So, it's going to be like, it's always going to be good football.
Yeah.
I think this is just, right now, De La Salle sits on top. And I would have to say, I would squeak St. Francis up in there, like being like one of the top teams in NorCal. Like, they're squeaking in there. So, it's going to be, I hope this is the year Northern California, can bring home a state title in the Open. I said in the Open. The Open.
The Open is the only thing that matters.
So
really? Damn, that's kind of harsh.
it is and it isn't. Okay. I mean, we could talk about that later, but I mean, if you make it that far, if you make it to the state championship, whatever division, hey, great on your school. Your goal next should be to go up the next division. Like, if you're not reaching for something tougher, then I don't know. I can say something controversial.
Yep.
Not going to.
Yeah. Well, we put out our award winners for this week, and I think this one was pretty spot on. There were some really good performances, but it was hard to kind of like, okay, do we give it to this athlete or that athlete? This one had 5 touchdowns, but against a not so good team versus somebody, it always comes down to that. But I believe we got it right, Coach. And was standing by it.
Yeah.
So here we go. Picks for week 3. We're going to start with the big one. It's going to be on Saturday. The Serra Padres are going to host St. John Bosco. I'm picking the Padres. It's going to be an upset in the peninsula. 31-28. That is my prediction. They got to clean up the mistakes because they were right there. And De La Salle just slammed the door right at their faces. That's kind of that's how I saw it. I think if there's this Serra team's going to be good in the next couple of years, Coach. Because a lot of these guys are going to come back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I believe it. I mean, like you said it, right? When Serra made mistakes, De La Salle, at very well coached teams and very good programs, when a team makes a mistake and they are very disciplined and they're coached well, they'll capitalize, and they capitalized on it hard.
Yeah.
So
they drove 95 yards just before the half after Serra was about to close the gap right there. And it was pretty amazing to see, De La Salle took advantage of the mistake. It's not like they forced Serra to make a mistake, though. That's a different thing. Serra made a mistake, and then De La Salle took that opportunity and then, bam, smacked them.
Right, and that's where anyone that coaches, anyone that plays, they know that it all comes down to execution.
Yep.
If you make mistakes, and the thing is you can't continue to make mistakes. Doesn't matter if it's the same mistake or it's a different mistake. You just can't keep making them. Right. Yeah. It's as much a physical game as it is a mental game. So I think you can see, you were there. I only got to watch the highlights, but you can kind of tell after those mistakes that De La Salle, they capitalized on, it's you just got to let it go.
Yeah.
You got to let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. There you go.
Well, you're picking Serra. Obviously, I like to go against the grain. I love the Serra guys, much respect to that whole coaching staff, but I will go with Bosco because of the history. It's the only thing. I will just go with Bosco. So I'm going to go with Bosco, but I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to flip your score in favor of Bosco.
31-28 Bosco. Okay. Well, 31-28 Serra Padres. They're humans too, Coach.
That's why I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
It's a day game. But then again, Bosco, they travel pretty good. So they're used to traveling and beating up on people. But not Saturday. I'm calling it right now. Let's go. NorCal. They're in our hood now.
Oh, dear. It's not going to be hot, at least.
I hope it's hot. No,
I think that's bad for you.
That's bad for me. Yeah, I almost passed out at the Sequoia game. That's a beautiful field, by the way. Sequoia, my goodness. We had our tournament there over the spring, earlier in the year, our 7-on-7 tournament. It's beautiful. I love the purple. I love the crowd. It's like a really nice school that's been there for a long, long time. So great job, Sequoia School District, maintaining that field. So there we go. That's the prediction for the Serra St. John Bosco game. Moving on, we got your Christopher, against Palo Alto. I'd like to claim Palo Alto, even though I went to the crosstown rival gun high school, but it's still Palo Alto. And I'll let you go first, Coach.
Well, I'm picking my Christopher kids, I got it, at the end of the day. And that's not just because just because I'm a Gilroy guy. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, PA all day, baby. PA all day.
Some people might think that, but if I went to, I had the opportunity, go to I went to the game last week, got to watch them. This is coming off of that very heart-wrenching loss against Carmel in week 1.
Yeah.
And I was I am expecting these guys to clean it up. I would say this to all the Christopher kids watching this, the coaches that are watching this: start fast, and then don't let up. That's the problem right now. It's you're taking too long to get started. get going. Like, you know, and that you know, honestly, that's also probably relative to a lot of the teams that are out here. Like, don't start slow. Like, you got to go. Like, right when the first whistle starts, you got to go. You got to get going. But I think with Christopher, like, I think they're going to – this is another big test game. Like, you know, this is a good opponent, always in a good league. You know, Palo Alto is always tough. They always got guys on the line, so you got to really fight. But I think it's going to be Christopher. I think it's going to be close, though. But so I think it's going to be like a 28-24, maybe 27-24. There's going to be some kicking. They got a really good kicker over at Christopher, so I think they're going to put him to use this weekend.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that Jackson, what did I like $185 passing yards, and Evan Vernon, he caught most of those. And then you got Josiah, our Josiah.
And Ray
because he played for our team. He had over 100 yards, right?
Mm-hmm. He had a really big one. He had a really big run. And then Ray Waller scored again. Wanted to make
4 rushing TDs for Christopher, I heard.
Yeah, and Jackson ran one of those in too. So, you know, that's got to do more of that. That's the
key. Well, this is tough, but Palo Alto's like they got the Fung brothers, you know, and I think they're gonna have a hard time stopping that. I mean, you got Jeremiah, the star receiver. He had 2 pick sixes. I believe he had 2 pick sixes and a touchdown catch, and his brother's the QB, so they have a really good connection right there. His brother threw, he had 3 touchdowns too. So, but this is tough. I'm gonna go with Palo Alto. They're gonna be at home, you know, and it's Palo Alto is a tough place to go to, especially when they're good, which I think they're good this year. I mean, they won CCS last year, so I'm gonna go with Palo Alto. 21-14. This is gonna be like Coach A-Ray's bowl, because Coach A-Ray is a coach now at Palo Alto. I ran into him at the MA Bellarmine game, and I saw Jeremiah there too. But I like how they kind of, I mean, they dominated Oak Grove 49-0, which is crazy. So I think they're gonna be ready for Christopher. So for your guys, prove me wrong again, fellas. Prove me wrong.
Just prove me right. Just make me proud. You guys already know,
right?
Or you'll hear it from me.
So this is an interesting game. Kevin's gonna shoot this one. Pittsburg hosting the Riordan Crusaders.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
The way I've been watching Riordan, I think I'm going to challenge them because their defense needs to step up. It's one thing to score a lot of points, but if you're not stopping the other team from scoring points, you're going to be in trouble. We just saw Pitt, and they're very complete. They got special teams play. They got defensive line. Their offense is really, really, I don't want to say explosive, because that's how I describe De La Salle, but their offense is clicking right now with Marley and Searcy and all those guys. So I think Pitt can put up 49 points against Riordan. And if Riordan plays catch up, they can probably get to about 35. So my prediction for this would be about 49-35. The defense is going to be a huge thing for Pitt, because I mean, not only the defense, they got their field, their crowd, their cheer, their band, their introductions, the big pirate inflatable thing, you know, that they went through. That's all going to make a big factor in the scheme of things. So I'm picking Pitt 49-35.
Yeah, I mean, we've both seen it, right? You know, both these teams can put points up. Like, they have high-powered offenses. But you're right. Like, you know, like the Riordan games that, like, you know, I've watched the last couple of weeks, like looking at like the scores and trying to see like what's going on. It's like you can put up a lot of points, but if you're letting the other team like also put points in, like, it doesn't help you, right? You have to be pretty much like scoring quickly every possession. So just to like keep the spread apart, that's kind of what you got to do. But Pittsburgh. I mean, Pitt looked good. Pitt always looks good. And you're right. If Riordan can put it together, and they can get those 3 and outs when they need it, so that offense, because the offense at Riordan is really good. They can score. They prove that they can score points. But if you can't get the ball back to your offense, then you can't do anything. So I'm gonna edge it. Yeah, I edge with you. Like Pitt, and Pitt can put up a lot of points. I'm gonna go 49, but I'm gonna go 49-21.
Okay. Okay, cool. My game, De La Salle hosting St. Francis. Both of these teams are pretty battle-tested and kind of beat up on the line. Mac came out to play. They almost came back against St. Francis. And then obviously De La Salle, they got that big win over Serra. But the De La Salle defense, as good as they are, they're going to be challenged because the Lancers, they got some meat up front. It's no joke. These guys are massive, and they do have Kingston. In Kingston, we trust. Congratulations on breaking the record there, my man. But the difference is De La Salle, offensively, they have 4 running backs. They have Jefferson, they have Blanche, they have Deuce, and now they have Kelly, who is kind of like a receiver / running back. He's an offensive weapon, and I think that's going to be the difference offensively. Defensively, though, if St. Francis controls the ball, the flow of the game with Kingston, yeah, I think Aaron Knapp is going to be up for this challenge. They beat the senior class beat this class when they were freshmen, and Jackson Cahoon had that big decleater hit and all that stuff. So I think this is going to be a really good game for St. Francis. It's not really a win or lose kind of a thing. It's more like they have everything to gain in this game. De La Salle, if they want to be the top dogs, stay at the top, they're going to have to win this game convincingly. Like they're going to have to really dominate like they did Serra. So, but I think the Lancers, they have a chance. So I'm going to do a 21-17 prediction score for this. Lancers, Kingston, 3 tugs. It's not a Lancers win if Kingston doesn't have 3 touchdowns.
All right. I would say, like, if we were to look at, like, if you tell it by, like, just paper, right? By, like, if you look at both rosters, style of gameplay, leadership, playmakers, I would say, like, this is a lot more even than people think. This is a lot more evenly matched game than a lot of people really
Oh, yeah.
Like, so you got powerful defense on both sides. You have guys that can, like, they can plug in there and they can all defend. Running backs, everything on offense. Like, you have Toa on De La Salle. Like, he's playing really well.
He is, yeah.
And, he is, I think at the end of the day, I think he is going to be the key to this game, because one thing that he really does have is he's super athletic. He's versatile. He'll pull it, and he's smart when to pull it and when to give it on that option. Like, he's very smart about it, and he's quick. I'll give him that. So I'd say, like, that's the edge that I would give them just because of that part only. They run very well. Like, I think it's going to, man, I can't even put whoever has the last possession wins this game. That's all I'm going to say. I can't really put a score on it, or it's hard to pick this one, but it's whoever gets the ball last is winning this game. That's how close I think this game's going to be. So that probably doesn't help anybody.
I forgot to mention Toa.
Yeah. So
what a young professional he is. Just the way he conducts these post-game interviews, like, this dude's gonna be like he's gonna be great at Idaho. But yeah, that's the game changer right there. It's gonna be Toa. If De La Salle ends up winning this game, I think Toa is gonna. They didn't show much against Serra, really. They didn't really show much. I don't think they did. So, but then again, that's classic De La Salle. They won. They won how they've been doing it against Serra. So, it was great. It was a great dominant performance. So, okay,
So,
that's cool. You got your score in. I got my score in. Next one, Wilcox versus the Sacred Heart Cathedral. Fighting Irish.
that was, I told you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You do
Yeah,
it. You do your
yeah. Look, okay. Look, no disrespect to Wilcox and my wife. I'm sorry, but I'm going to pick against you again. I'm going with Sacred Heart Cathedral. Cathedral looks great. They look really good, and I think because of that whole learning year last year, like honestly, like having to battle through all of that as they're growing, they took these growing pains and they learned. They learned a lot. They look like a completely different team from last year. Like they look like a completely different team. I'm going Fighting Irish, and I think they're going to win this one big. I think it's going to be 35.
How many? What's the score?
35-7.
35-7. Wow. Okay. I am gonna go for Sacred Heart Cathedral. Their line looked really good this past week. But the thing is, they're used to playing grass, and Wilcox, they're not used to playing grass. And with that offense, playing on grass could be a little bit messy. So for that, I'm gonna pick Sacred Heart. But I think this is gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a 14-7 game. Sacred Heart Cathedral. So there you go. Picking you guys. Wilcox, prove me wrong or prove us wrong. Coach Andrew's going to be sleeping on the couch. We should have Crystal do the predictions whenever there's a Wilcox game.
Yeah, she'll probably make a lot of the former Chargers really loud, like and very proud.
Oh, well, here's another one. This one's a pretty good one. Menlo-Atherton versus your Mitty Monarchs.
Ooh, okay. Mitty has a lot to gain from this game. They played really well these first two games. They put up a lot of points. So, confidence through the roof. Confidence through the roof right now. So, I think at that point, like you got to carry that confidence into this game. Like this is a true test opponent. I think they can do it, but don't just try to squeak out the game. Like MA is a good team. MA is a great team. Like they have a lot of good players. They have that linebacker. His name flips like I can't remember his name, but like he was very well spoken guy too.
Devin Hyde. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very great, well spoken man. Like he's gonna be a good guy. He's gonna be great at the next level. But Mitty, you gotta put it together. Win this game. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna say this is like a 21-17 game.
Okay.
In favor of my Monarchs.
Your Monarchs. Yes, that is your Monarchs. I am aware of the playmakers on Mitty, and I know it's been working out for them when I pick against them. So I'm gonna pick against them again. I've seen MA. And if MA were to clean up some of their mistakes, I think they can win pretty big against Mitty on the road at Foothill. My score prediction is going to be 42-24 with MA leading pretty comfortably, like for most of the game. Their defense is very good. Very good. And I don't know. I think they can slow down that offense, that Mitty offense. And so it's going to be a big win for MA on the road. 42-24.
Come on, Joey. Put the team on your back.
Another very interesting matchup right here. Valley Christians versus Soquel. Valley Christian, they struggled against Salinas. They only scored 7 points, but I still don't know how good Salinas is. I really haven't seen much. But Soquel, on the other hand, they hung with SRV. It was like a 14-7 game, and SRV won at the very last. I think it was Marco Jones who scored the touchdown that won the game. So if the Warriors can score first and maybe go up by 14, I think they have a shot at Soquel. But again, they're playing at Soquel, and that DJ, you just got to keep that music bumping so that you can distract the other team and take their mind off the game. That's going to be a huge thing.
Yeah.
And
No,
I believe it's grass too, right?
yeah, it's grass. I think at the end of the day, like I mean, just that alone. Thank you. Edit that. I think okay. Let me start. I think just playing at Soquel alone, like that's already going to give Soquel an edge, because Valley went over to Salinas, right? Or was it Salinas at Valley?
No, they went to Salinas.
So yeah, I mean,
believe they went to Salinas. I'm not what
because I couldn't remember because if I remember correctly, like playing at the pit at Salinas, playing at the pit's hard. When you start going down to the Central Coast, like these stadiums are like, because I'm not gonna say it just to be mean, but I'm gonna say it anyways. It's like there's really not a lot to do down here. So there's a Friday night football game. There's gonna be people there. It's gonna be loud. So I think Valley's gonna have to like deal with that again, And Soquel's still a really good team. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be another one of those like 24-21 games, and I'm gonna give it to Soquel.
Okay. I'm picking Valley 21-14. This is like a bounce. They have to win this game to carry that momentum going into WCAL. Because if you lose this game and then you have that bye week, you're gonna be thinking about this game during the bye week. Oh no, we're 1-2. Are we good enough? We're supposed to be a contender this year. So this is a challenge for Valley Christian. I think their defense really need to step it up because Soquel, playing down there is tough, but it's doable. So just go up ahead, play some defense, play a lot of defense, and just, hold them off. 21-14. That's my prediction. It's fair score.
Fair score.
Cool. All right. Moving on. Carmel. We saw Carmel. They're going to be going up to Miramonte in Orinda. That's a crazy place to play if you are not from, if you're out of that area, away from the area. Miramonte's been scoring, I believe they scored over 40 points per game the first 2 games. Their quarterback is very good, Carson Blair. He's got 8 passing touchdowns. We saw Carmel in week 1. They do have playmakers on defense, and those guys are going to step it up. I think defensively, Simeon Brown, Ty Arnold, I think, and Ashton Reese. I think those 3 are going to have a really big game against Blair as far as the passing game. And but it's tough to play there. So if you're Jackson Lloyd, 5-star, Alabama commit, if you show up with your boys, the Hoggies on the front, both sides of the ball, control that game, I think it's going to be about a 31-24 game for Carmel to steal. I don't think Miramonte's faced a talented team like Carmel yet. So, but it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Carmel. We know what Carmel can do. I'd say, like, I mean, as week 3, I mean, like they most likely have cleaned up everything. Like they made a lot of mistakes in that game, that week 1 game. They've just gotten better since then. I think this is going to be another. They're going to win this one. This is a good momentum for them going into league play. I don't know much about Miramonte, so I'm just going to go with Carmel just because of the fact I don't know anything about Miramonte.
You're with me. You're with me on that. Well, Miramonte, yeah, their offense is very fluid. They're capable, but I don't think they've faced a team like Carmel, with the secondary Carmels. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit harder to pass on those guys. All right, we got Carlmont going to Monte Vista Christian. Did you get this list?
I did.
You did. Yeah. So Carlmont, they're feeling good right now because Saturday they almost beat Menlo School. The score was 49-41. And Ethan and I were at the game. We were like talking. Well, actually, he was talking to me about it. But Johnny Dunn, he's a very good QB, and I think number 9 and number 18, those are his guys. Those are his playmakers. Number 9 plays defense as well. So, with this game, ooh, if they play with the same intensity, I think they can pull it off. I think they can pull it off against the Mustangs. So now, who's the QB for Monte Vista Christian? Dominic Perini? Did I say that right? Perini?
Yeah.
He had 5 touchdowns against Santa Clara, but is Santa Clara at that level? So I don't think they are. Therefore, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be a 35-14 game. I'm going to go with Carmel because they're more battle tested. Monte Vista Christian, they got what? Gunnar Sorensen? He's pretty good. He had 17 tackles against Santa Clara. But like I said, that's Santa Clara. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm picking Carmel, 35-14.
Okay. I grew up, I went to college like right next to Carmel. So, we got to, yeah, my college was right down the street from Carmel. We used to practice it for track. So I know what their program is about. We had, the first year we did the GSF All-Star experience. We had the kicker from Carmel.
Yep.
Great kicker. So
Connor
Cook. Yeah, we got that. I mean, Carmel has always been like an up and up team. But when they're down, they're down. When they're good, they're good. I mean, based on what you're saying, it seems like they're good again this year. They look like they're moving up. But you're right. I coached at Monte Vista last year, so I know about these players. And we played Santa Clara last year too, and it was the same result. I don't think Santa Clara was enough of a test for them, but it was a good confidence game for them to get things moving. So carry that over. And you start to, if you carry that confidence over, anything can happen on any given Friday. So, anything can happen. But I think with Monte Vista feeling good after putting up all those points, I believe they think they could, I believe they could pull it out. They just got to, not make mistakes and trust everything. I think it's going to be close, though. If Monte Vista can pull this off, it's going to be close. So I'm going to say MVC, probably like 28-24. About it.
So you got the Mustangs.
Yeah, it's at home too. It's always fun playing there. Fog gets thick when it's cold. It's cold. So I think just playing there at night and it's kind of hidden away. Kind of that cold air kind of just sits there.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little different.
Very nice, very nice. Last but not least, the other Monte Vista up in Danville. They're going to be traveling down to San Jose to take on the Bellarmine Bells. So you have I think this is a major mismatch. Monte Vista, they're coming off a kind of like a heartbreaking loss against O'Dowd, a game that they should have won, and they're probably pretty mad right now. And they're gonna take it out on the Bells. I can see them putting up more than 40 points, just like last year when Bellarmine went to the ranch over in Danville. But Bellarmine did score 30 points last year. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I'm going to have to ask the Bells to prove me wrong on this one, because the way things are going right now with how they are playing, this is a very, very tough Monte Vista team. They have a lot of talent on this squad. They got Julian McMahon, the running back. He might rush for. I could see him rushing for 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards on the Bells, and that's a challenge, Bells. That's a challenge. You gotta stop Julian. I'm gonna say 49-14 Mustangs.
Yeah, I mean, Bellarmine kind of like I don't want to use the word flat, but they look flat right now. Someone's got to step up. That's my challenge to this Bellarmine team. Someone's got to step up. And if you are stepping up and you're going to say like, we are stepping up, then step up more. Do more. You know, whatever it takes, do more. Because right now you guys gotta band together for this. But you know, Monte Vista's, you know, those East Bay teams are tough. Those are tough teams. And for them to go back to back against, like, you know, like this, I'm going to have to go Monte Vista. I'm going to say 35. I think it's going to goose egg. I think it's 35-0.
You're going to say 0? Damn.
I just can't. Prove me wrong, Bellarmine. Like, put something up. Like, don't get like, you know, shut out. Because Monte Vista has the capability to do that.
Yeah. I think this Monte Vista team is very similar to an SI Mitty team. So this would be a good preparation for Bellarmine for league. I don't think Monte Vista is at the St. Francis or Serra, even Riordan level. Maybe Riordan, but you know, they're going to be at home though. But Jesuit, they were at home against Jesuit and they got handled. So this is a confidence thing. I don't think the score matters at this point for Bellarmine. I think what you want is a solid performance from your senior class to kind of say, hey, we're not quitting. We're gonna keep going forward. You know, despite the fact that we lost our leader, Reese. I think they're gonna have a really good challenge, and as long as they do what they're supposed to do, play their best, and all that stuff, I think they'll be fine for the rest of the year. But I think Monte Vista is a well put together team, and like I said, Julian McMahon, man, I think he's gonna have 4 against the Bells. So there's your challenge, and that is week 3 predictions.